Okay, recording this video after close of trade Tuesday, 9th of November 2010, and we got some interesting developments in the market today. First of all, just show you my Emini chart, daily chart here. We closed down at 12.10, 2 million contracts traded. This was kind of a heavy selling day with this kind of exhaustion selling white bar on better volume. However, just be aware the better trend indicator was only minus 18, which shows that there was a good amount of buying actually happening on this down day. So just be aware of that. Plus, we've got this kind of gap fill situation kind of coming in that traders will be looking at. But on these other markets, we've got some really interesting things happening. First of all, I'm going to show you the dollar index chart. Now, last week we had QE2, Ben Bernanke. All of that should be about kind of destroying the dollar. Prints money, the US dollar goes down in value, interest rates go down, and they're buying kind of bonds, but the reverse is happening in the market, so just be aware of this. Dollar index, this is last week. We had a professional down bar here, kind of closed towards the middle. That was a buying day, plus we had flush volume selling at that point. We'd had our extreme selling happening a month ago. We've come back in to test these lows at 76, and this is where we get a flush selling signal where we're flushing out the last of those kind of sellers, and that means the markets can start to rally from there. And I'll show you what's happening in the pound, in the euro contract. But just be aware on the pound, we had an end of trend warning signal on the daily chart today. We also we're a couple of days away from a Swiss franc end of trend warning signal there. So we've got a reversal happening. I talked about this a week ago or so, a reversal happening in all the currencies right now, so just be aware of that. Plus on the interest rates, now I've been going on and on about this for a couple of months now, and we're really starting to see some action. So this is the TY interest rates, this is the 30-year interest rate. This was the first one to move. A month ago I was talking about how this cyclical turn was really important. We've got a cyclical turn on the monthly time frame. We kind of had end of trend warning signals on the daily time frames when we were looking at some of these interest rates, and now this has really started to take off. So we had a low at about 3.6%. Today we reached 4.25%. This is big. TN, the 10-year contract, again, this was kind of slower to turn, but now look at it, kind of broke through cyclical resistance at that point. And then the 5-year as well, this was the very slowest to turn. It kind of gapped down a couple of days ago, and now it's kind of reversed back up to this cyclical resistance level. So just be aware that the interest rates are starting to move up and bond prices are really starting to move down. Just looking at some multi-markets, just to show you crude oil, for example. Crude oil today, we had our end of trend warning signal here, a couple of bearish divergent signals here, very little buying happening here. We'd had our exhaustion buying earlier on in the piece here, professional up bars at this point here, a couple of Rambo patterns at the end of last week, end of trend today, and the market really kind of started to decline. Euro, now Euro, this was very interesting after we saw the activity last week with the QE2 announcement. We had this kind of extraordinary, this was the FOMC kind of days, we had this extraordinary move in the euro, and then we kind of cracked on through this cyclical resistance level at this point here. But look at all these professional blue bars at these highs. This is professional selling going on here, and this is our flush signal. On this day we actually had exhaustion selling on the downside, showing that this down move was really starting to get going. And then the last few days we've just kind of collapsed. This is from 42.5, we're down at 37.5 on the euro at the moment. So, and the activity today was, the professionals in this up move, they were selling into this test back up to 140. That's professional up bars, selling at this point, very weak buying, and we continue to move down. So we've had a pullback and a downtrend signal here. So that's the euro. So all the currencies are starting to flip around. The euro's going down, the dollar's going up, and that's not what people expected from QE2. Gold kind of topped out. Now, when the dollar is starting to strengthen, we're going to see, the commodity market starting to weaken. So today we had end of trend warning signal on gold. We'd had our professional buying, professional selling, this professional blue up bar up here, very weak buying at the top. We've had our flush volume buying signal here, and then we've cracked back down through 1400 on gold. The bonds. So Again, this is interesting. We're talking about the interest rates moving up, so all the bond prices going down. I was talking about this day on the FOMC, extremely difficult to to trade that move there. But what's happened subsequently has really shown the way. When we came back to test here at 132, professional blue up bars at this point into a cyclical turning point, the market reverses. The next time we test back up into 131, professional up blue bar, taking profits, going short, bang. And now today we had, this is falling through the ice. This is professional down bar through a cyclical support level to get this downtrend really going. So that's professionals selling at that point, with the market kind of really starting to tank. So it's interesting things happening in the bonds at the moment. Copper, we had an end of trend warning signal here, professional blue up bar at the beginning of the day. Reasonable buying. I wouldn't say that's kind of weak buying, but we kind of cracked on down. And then the E-mini, so a double top that we've made over the last few days. We had all of our flush buying signals kind of earlier on in the piece, and coming up to these highs, you can see all those professional blue bars coming into here, coming in again, coming in a third time here, profit taking, bearish divergence, bang, and we kind of head to the downside. Now, we had our an extreme selling today at the end of the day, with professionals kind of coming back in. So I'd expect a bounce at some time tomorrow. But the question is, when we come back, is that going to be one of these kind of last opportunities to get on board, the last roll of the dice before the market starts to head back down again? Okay, just show you some day trading charts here. First of all, the 4500 tip bar chart that I use for trend direction. First of all, a couple of things to note. At the end of today, we've had our exhaustion selling on the downside with all these blue cyan bars on the down. We've had an end of trend warning signal that shows that's kind of extreme price activity, and we've had all these professionals kind of coming in. I think they were coming in here testing kind of 1212 at this level here, and then coming in back down at 1208 again. So professional buying happening here. So I'd expect a little bit of a test. You want to see some bullish divergence at sometime tomorrow, but we might get a little bit of a bounce after this kind of extreme selling today. But this was an interesting point for me. I'll probably tack on the two videos that I shot around this time. We were coming into this cyclical turning point here on the 4500 tip bar chart. We had all these blue professional down bars you can see here, and I thought, well, we could be seeing a cyclical turning point here. We had an end of trend warning signal on the 500 tip bar chart, and I actually went long, but I reversed as soon as we came to this point here where we started to test the 1220 level again, and I kind of went short at this point here. The problem, and it's discussed in the video, the problem with this move down here was you can see all these blue professional down bars, a whole series of them in a row. Now it's okay to have one of these selling at this point, but then you'd expect a little bit of a gap, and then the professionals to come back in later when they're kind of picking up at lower prices, like it was here, here, and then back here again. The problem with 3 or 4 in a row like this, that's actually professionals selling continuously at that point and getting this move going. So initially I misinterpreted that activity. I was luckily I reversed for a small loss, but then went short again on a break of 1220, and that kind of ended up being a winning trade, which was a good trade. Did not hold it all the way to the end, and that was my weakness, but at least I was able to get out of this trade and reverse and go short. So I'll tack on that video. But we've had an interesting day in the markets today. We're starting to see a lot of markets kind of shift their tone. So let's see how that plays out over the next few days. Okay, we just went long at 21.25. Might be able to get a better entry kind of going forward, but this is a second cyclical turn after an end of trend warning signal. We had the pullback signal here. It wasn't a kind of a clean pullback, and so this didn't get printed as an end of trend warning signal, but effectively that's what it is. And then we just kind of dropped through that, but as soon as we dropped through that, we had all this we had a professional bar, flush signal, bullish divergence, and so on. We've had a whole series of kind of flush signals around this kind of 1220 level, and so you can see them on the 500 and the 1500 tip bar charts here. So coming down here, this was flush signals, and then bullish divergence here, and we've had just a slow kind of rolling over of price here, and that's kind of coinciding with a cyclical turning point on the 4500 tip bar chart. We had all these kind of blue professional bars kind of as we sold off here from just above 24 coming into this kind of lows, and so that to me suggests that that's the amateurs kind of buying all the way down. So what I'm hoping is for a reversal of trend, and we kind of break to new highs today. But let's just see how this goes. Okay, I just reversed positions, went short at 12.20.